My mom took my cheating ex-girlfriend's side over mine, and I can never forgive her. I was raised by a single mother. My father passed away 2 years after I was born. I focused on my career for most of my life, and my mum supported me through it all. But when I turned 20, I met my ex-girlfriend, and we got together. We were colleagues at first, but she told me she'd soon be working in a different field. At her new job, she met another guy she fell in love with while still in a relationship with me. I only found out because she confessed to being intimate with him after going out for a girls' night with her friends. I immediately broke up with her and kicked her out. A few hours later, while I was still trying to process everything, my mum called me, yelling that she didn't raise me to act like this. Confused, I asked what she meant, and she told me my ex accused me of cheating on her and that she found evidence of it on my phone. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I tried explaining to my mum that the opposite was true, that she had cheated on me, but she didn't believe me. Part of the reason, I think, is that my mum and my ex had grown really close. I never had an issue with that before. In fact, I liked how well they got along. But my mum called me a liar and said she'd cut me out of her will because she wouldn't have a cheating son. She told me she never wanted to see me again. Then my grandparents called to tell me how disappointed they were in me, saying I deserved all the bad things that were about to happen. And the worst part? I found out that my cheating ex-girlfriend continued to meet with my mum even after everything she had done to me. It was all so painful. The only person who stood by me was my best friend, who was furious at her. I talked to him, and he hugged me while I cried in his arms. I know some people might find that unusual for two guys, but his support really helped me get through it. A year later, when I'd finally moved past it, my doorbell rang. When I opened the door, there stood my mum with tears in her eyes. I felt a surge of emotions and slammed the door, crying and asking myself what the hell she wanted from me. She said she needed to talk and that she was sorry. After 15 minutes of her begging, I gave in and opened the door. She told me that my ex had admitted to cheating on me while drunk. She apologized over and over again and admitted that she had failed as a mother for not believing her own son. I told her I accepted her apology, but that I didn't want to see her right now, and maybe I never could forgive her. She kept begging for forgiveness, though. In the months since, she's been calling me daily just to hear my voice, as she says. She tells me how much she misses me, apologizes again, and asks if I could visit her. Her voice always sounds pained, and she constantly says how much she loves me and how she understands if I hate her. But I don't hate her. I still love her, she's my mum, but the trust is gone. I'll never be able to trust her again, because what if I get into another relationship? What's to stop her from believing someone else's word over mine again? I do appreciate the effort she's putting in, but I just can't forgive her or even see her right now. I hope she understands that I need time. Update. Hello? After reading many of your comments yesterday, I decided to meet with my mum today to clear everything up. I sent her a message asking her to come over, and she didn't hesitate. She was at my door in 15 minutes flat. A lot of you pointed out some good questions I should ask her. Even though she had been calling frequently, we hadn't really talked much. So when she arrived, I sat her down in the living room. I asked her about my grandparents, her will, and whether she was still in contact with my ex. She explained that she had told my grandparents the truth and had hoped they'd reach out to me, but they seemed to have been too stubborn. She also told me that she put me back in her will. Then she started bad-mouthing my ex. She said that when she found out the truth, she punched my ex so hard that she knocked out a few of her teeth. I'm honestly skeptical about the accuracy of that part, but I wanted to share it because the thought of it made me laugh a little. She told me she told my ex to go to hell and kicked her out of her house. After that, she began apologizing profusely, saying she knew how much she had messed up and that I might never be able to trust her again. She said she was willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. She also explained that the man she was with before my dad had cheated on her, so infidelity was a sensitive topic for her. Then she admitted she regretted not believing me or even listening to my side of the story. I sat silently as she explained all of this. Then I asked her how I could trust her now. What would happen if I found myself in a similar situation again? How could I be sure she wouldn't throw me under the bus like before? She said I had her word, and I replied that her word didn't carry any weight with me anymore because I simply didn't trust her. She couldn't come up with a convincing response to that and just started begging for forgiveness again. I told her I couldn't forgive her now and might never be able to, But I did acknowledge her efforts. I said that if she wanted me back in her life, she'd have to prove that I could rely on her. At that point, she started crying. I could tell she had been trying to hold back her tears the entire time. Then she broke down and, through her sobs, asked if she could at least give me a hug. I allowed it, and she promised she would fix things no matter what it took. Then she left. Now, while I'm somewhat moved by how remorseful she seems, I'm really worried about my own reaction. When she broke down in front of me, sobbing on the floor, I felt absolutely nothing. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't happy. I didn't feel any empathy for her at all. I just couldn't. During the year I went without contact with her, I refused to go to therapy. Maybe it's not too late to start now. Finally, I just want to thank all of you for your kind comments and support. I tried to read each one, but this post blew up way more than I expected. Have a great day.